Around 358 structures, or roughly 30% of the town, was lost to the fire. But inversely, around 70% of the town was saved. Years of preparation, forest management, simulated evacuations, and firefighting efforts paid off.
But is the Environment Minister in charge of Parks Canada right today when he said that proper forest management was responsible for keeping the carnage in Jasper National Park to a 30% loss of the picturesque town site, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site? Sheila Gunn Reid for Rebel News, and I'm here west of Jasper, Alberta, in Hinton, at the command center for the emergency response to the wildfires burning out of control in Jasper National Park, which resulted in a fire sweeping into the town site, taking 30% of the structures, leaving people homeless, businesses destroyed, and a piece of irreplaceable Canadian heritage irreparably damaged forever. Firefighters, police officers, emergency responders, and the military have been coming and going from here all day, working hard and risking their lives to keep these fires as close to under control as they can, and we're grateful for it. We thank them. Now, we're Albertans, and we will rebuild. We stand with Jasper, and if you stand with Jasper too, please consider making a donation to our 100% charitable crowdfund at helpjasper.ca. Was the Conservative MP for Yellowhead, Jim Iglinski, wrong back in 2017 when he implored the Trudeau Liberals to do something about the fuel load caused by mountain pine beetle dead trees in a House of Commons speech?
Mr. Speaker, Jasper National Park, one of Canada's major tourist destinations, has been devastated by the pine beetle infestation. Much of the forest is dead or dying. The dead trees are a tremendous fuel load and present a significant risk to the community of Jasper. Residents are concerned for their own safety and that of the visitors and the security of their homes. With a high risk of wildfires fueled by a forest devastated by the pine beetle, have the Liberals put a plan in place to protect this park?
The Honourable Minister of the Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our government is absolutely committed to the ecological integrity of our national parks. That is my first priority as a minister. We are working very hard in all of our parks, including Jasper National Park. I look forward to talking to the member further about this and seeing how we can move forward. Thank you.
Were the experts wrong in 2018 when two BC researchers said Jasper National Park was due for a catastrophic forest fire, and they were worried officials weren't doing enough to prevent it? Emil Beggin and Ken Hodges said a major forest fire in the area was an inevitability. It's just a matter of when, not if, Beggin told CBC's Radioactive at the time. Or were Parks Canada bureaucrats wrong when they tried to warn Parks Canada and the Minister, Stephen Guilbeault, in 2022 in a report called the Jasper Park Management Plan about the potential for disaster, the same disaster experts tried to warn about in 2018? And were those same federal bureaucrats wrong when in a report on the implementation of the Jasper Park Management Plan noted in 2022 that just 18,000 seedlings of over 500,000 seedlings needed for fire mitigation had been planted, that there weren't enough controlled burns, and that only 1.6 hectares of pine beetle dead trees had been mechanically cleared, when 44% of the park's forest had been touched by the pine beetle? Why wasn't any of this work done? Did Parks Canada CEO Ron Hallman choose social justice, DEI, and nature over people?
There will never be a place for discrimination in Parks Canada, or for misogyny, bigotry, homophobia, transphobia, or any other kind of hatred. There will never be room for that in Parks Canada. I won't accept it, you won't accept it, we won't accept it. Not now, not tomorrow, and not ever. Not in Parks Canada. Never in Parks Canada.
Parks Canada has been taking care of Jasper National Park now for almost a century. The park became an official national park in 1930. We have, as both Ron and I have mentioned, we have Parks Canada staff who live there, who call Jasper their home, quite a number of them. And to think that over all those decades, we would not have deployed all of the resources necessary to try and do everything that is humanly possible to protect a town from a forest fire is simply not true. On talked about prescribed burns, clearing dead trees, clearing a wide buffer zone around the town of Jasper. But as we are seeing in Canada and all around the world, we are seeing more and more aggressive forest fires, and we certainly saw that in the summer of 2023. And this is what we were faced with. And the fact that we were able to protect 70% of the town speaks to all of those measures we have put in place over the years, and frankly.
Justin Trudeau's federal government, and specifically Environment Minister Stephen Guilbeault, repeatedly preen about what environmentalists they are and how Albertans just don't care about the earth. But as the fire continues to rage in Jasper National Park, more and more facts come out, which place the blame for the size and scale of that fire on the shoulders of those tasked with stewarding the park for all of us: Parks Canada, Environment and Climate Change Canada, and Stephen Guilbeault. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid.
Hello, Premier Smith. Thank you for taking my question. So your government over the last few years has made various cuts to Alberta's wildfire fighting budget. Do you regret making those cuts now? Why or why not?
Well, look, I mean, my first firefighting season was last year, and what we did in response to that was we increased the firefighting budget by 50%. In 2023-4, it was $100.4 million. In 24-25, we increased it to $155.4 million, and that's the highest it's ever been. And there's a reason for that. Is that we knew that we needed to get some of the equipment and change some of the practices, as Minister Lowen had mentioned. We declared the start of forest fire season early. We had all of our personnel hired and in place by April 15th, which is May 15th. By May 15th. And in addition to that, because of the amount of damage that we saw last year, when I first came in, we had $1 billion contingency. My first budget, we increased that to a $1.5 billion contingency. And this budget, we increased to a $2 billion contingency. So there is no limit to the amount of money that we will spend to make sure that we have the resources that we need and to make sure that we have the money available to assist with the recovery. So I would say that we've looked at the lessons of the past and we made the appropriate amount of investment in this budget year.
We're Albertans. We've faced fire before, and we will rebuild. If you'd like to donate to our 100% charitable crowdfund for the evacuees and businesses touched by the Jasper National Park fire, please consider making a donation at helpjasper.ca.